So let me just go back in time here and play a piece of tape from when Joni Ernst originally ran for the U.S. Senate. This was way back in 2014, and how things change. And yes, of course, I mean, she looks differently now. Everyone looks different being in D.C., but it's just the whole vibe of her race in 2014 is that I'm an outsider. I'm ready to go shake things up. We're going to go make them squeal. We had such high hopes for Joni Ernst. We had high hopes for a lot of these people. And they go on a mission and they go on a mandate to try and represent voters, and it turns out they just end up being part of the system. Play cut 116.
I'm Joni Ernst. I grew up castrating hogs on an Iowa farm. So when I get to Washington, I'll know how to cut pork.
Joni Ernst, mother, soldier, conservative.
My parents taught us to live within our means. It's time to force Washington to do the same. To cut wasteful spending, repeal Obamacare, and balance the budget. I'm Joni Ernst, and I approve this message because Washington's full of big spenders. Let's make them squeal.
That was the ad back in 2014, went very viral. Everyone was very excited about Miss Joni Ernst. Oh, she's going to make them squeal. She's going to go fight for us. Turns out that she was just like Liz Cheney and John McCain and the whole brigade. All Nikki Haley wing of the Republican Party. And I don't know if she's a pleasant person or a mean person. I can't speak to her personal character. I can only speak to how she has voted and what she is doing. Did you know that Shelley Moore Capito from West Virginia, Susan Collins has a get out of jail free card for me. She can do whatever she wants. Lisa Murkowski and Dan Sullivan all voted for Alejandro Mayorkas, but they have questions about Pete Hegseth. So Joe Biden's Lloyd Austin got 93 yes votes, and Hegseth is going to have to be a squeaker. It's because Senate Republicans, many of whom are more loyal to the regime and more loyal to the D.C. cabal, to the mafia, than to their voters. And one of the things, again, it's not playtime here. We've been talking about this for quite some time. It is time for Turning Point action. And yes, Turning Point PAC. We are going to be launching some primaries, and we do not know what states yet. But we're going to measure twice, and we're going to cut once. And, people say, oh, Charlie, they're going to come after you guys. Hold on. The Ronna fight, we've been through this a couple times. It would come after us. Come on, bring it in. Get in line. And by the way, the MAGA faithful, they want this. So maybe it's going to be Mr. Crapo or Risch in Idaho. Maybe we're going to primary Mike Rounds. Maybe it's going to be Joni Ernst. Maybe it'll be Tom Tillis in North Carolina. He's been behaving better because of the threat. But none of this conversation would be necessary. I wouldn't have to be like this. I don't want to have to do this if every one of them said, we're voting for President Trump's nominees. But if we're going to go play patty cake and have to try to win people over, cut deals to get our Secretary of Defense. In fact, that's what somebody said is, well, Trump's going to have to cut a deal. Cut a deal to get our SecDef? What planet are you living on? That's like an easy voice vote, get it done, day one, January 20 or 21, 22, you get your Secretary of Defense. Oh, we're going to have to cut a deal? No, we're not going to put up with that. And these Senate Republicans, it's not as if that they're senators from blue states. We're not going to primary Susan Collins. If anyone tries primary Susan Collins, moron, I will actively stop you from doing that. But Crapo or Risch or whatever in Idaho, or Mike Rounds in South Dakota, game on. Look, the American people gave us a mandate. They gave us jet fuel. These are obvious smears. These are obvious pieces of slander. We won the referendum. Joni Ernst did not win the referendum. Okay, yes, she's elected by the people of Iowa. Good for you. By the way, Donald Trump bailed her back in 2020. She was in a very competitive Senate race, and Donald Trump made multiple visits in 2020 and bailed her out in a very competitive Senate race. People don't remember that. A lot of these people he bailed out. And then you got James Lankford out there, who we're not done with James Lankford. I'm telling you, that guy, he has no political future. If James Lankford was smart and wanted a political future, he'd be like leading the charge. Pete Hegseth, you have like a Pete Hegseth shirt. No, Lankford his political career is dead. He doesn't know it yet.